ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ। Thank you very much for our dance group. That was beautiful. And again, everything sounds so much better when we do Kirtan with Tanti size. So thank you to Sanjay Kaur for being part of that jatha. So while we wait for our guest, I just want to give you a little bit of background who we're going to be meeting, because some of you might not know. How many of you know? Have you anyone heard of Ravi Singh Khalsa? Yeah, you know that name? Heard of it? Okay. So he's as close to a celebrity as we have in our community. And wherever you go, even now, he can't walk anywhere in the Gurdwara, right? Committee members want to talk to him and take pictures with him. Ravi Singhs want to meet him. Everyone wants to meet him. So ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਕਿ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ, ਇੰਨਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ, right? All the love and respect he's getting. Why is he getting so much? Why? Is it because he's rich? No, that's not why. He might be rich, I don't know. But that's not why he's getting love and respect. Why is it wherever he goes, people want to meet him and talk to him and, you know? He gives respect to everyone else, absolutely. Yeah. And what has he done with his life? What has he dedicated his life to? Which is very unusual. इस दुनिया ਵਿੱਚ बहुत ਘੱਟ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਡੈਡੀਕੇਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ. People will dedicate to other things, right? Like I said, like making money. Many people dedicate their lives to that. But what he's dedicated his life to, not many people dedicate their life to that. What is that? Manvir Singh? To help people, which in Sikhi we call Seva. That's right, Seva. Seva is about something very important to us. If you think about it, what we do when we do our ardas, we always conclude with something, and that is the spirit of Seva. And that is Nanak Naam Chaddi Kala Tere Paane Sarbata Pala. So this concept of Sarbata Pala that's what Seva is about. If you want to understand Seva, you have to understand what Sarbata Pala means. What does Sarbata Pala mean? Anyone know? Kevin, what does Sarbata Pala mean? You know? No? This is something even our kindergarten should know. Never mind our high school students. Isn't it pata? Harjap Singh, pata? Sarbata Pala? Okay, then listen. Just Nur Kaur? Hanji? Saryan da Pala. Yeah, Sarbat means everyone. Pala means well-being, right? So when we conclude our ardas by asking for Sarbata Pala, what we are doing is we're saying, Vaheguru, please bless not just me, not just my family, not just my community, please bless everyone in this whole world. And not only do we do ardas for Sarbata Pala, we work for Sarbata Pala. And that work is called Seva, right? So whenever we do any work that's dedicated to serving humanity, to serving everyone, that's called Seva. And we can do it in little ways or big ways. Our high school leadership group, they have started doing Seva now. They go downstairs, langar di seva karde ne, kuch bacche prashadiyan di seva karde ne, kuch pandya di seva karde ne, kuch bacche ne jodiyan di seva kiti hai. That's Seva, right? It comes from the same place, the same spirit. But when you start thinking bigger, how can we think bigger about Seva? Because of course, you can always come to the Gurdwara and do Seva. But does Seva end in the walls of the Gurdwara? Is that the only place where Seva should happen? No. Where else should Seva happen? Everywhere. In the whole world. So you have certain people who Vaheguru has given this mission to. And he has told them go do seva in the whole world. And Ravi Singh Khalsa is one of those individuals who is given this, right? It's very dear to his heart that how can I take the message of the Gurus, the spirit of Sarvata Pala, and do something good in this world. And he's been doing it all over the place in the world. Every country you can think of, wherever people need help, his organization, Khalsa, they do their best to go there, right? They help with many things. What are some things we can help the people in different parts of the world with? What can you think of any things where people might need help? One is something that happens time to time in different parts of the world. It's always been happening, and it's part of nature, but it affects people in a really bad way, right? And so it is part of Pana, right? It's part of God's will. But when we see someone suffering in those conditions, we want to help them. And what is that? What does nature do sometimes that requires us to help other people? Gurtesh Singh? Natural disasters, exactly. So what are we talking about? Earthquakes, floods, right? All these things that basically, and you know what? Some of those things they happen more often because we are not treating the planet very nicely. So something is happening called climate change. Have you heard of that? On inni garmi kyun ho rahi hai? Because we're not taking care of this world. They were saying that when the elections were happening in India, many people were dying from the heat. Inni garmi si. Record matlab tod rahe si utthe. Inni garmi si. The same with US. There were places in the US that was going to 110, 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which on our scale is 40, 50 degrees. Can you imagine that? Right? It's hard for us to handle it even when it's 35 degrees Celsius. Can you imagine when it's 40 or 50? Right? So this is happening in the world. So what we try to do is, how can we help people who need help? Some people need help from natural disasters. What other kind of help do people need in this world? There's one thing we take for granted. We just turn on the tutti and we get that automatically. But a lot of people don't have it. What is that? सारे को वो चीज नहीं है जो ਅਸੀਂ granted ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. Kevin? Yeah, not just any water though. Clean water, right? ਸਾਫ਼ ਪਾਣੀ. ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਫ਼ ਪਾਣੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. ਨਾ ਪੀਣ ਲਈ, right? They can't even, not even like, some of that water is so bad they can't even bathe with that water, right? Never mind drinking it. And of course we know water, is it something we can live without? No, it's more important to us than food. So another project that Khalsa Aid looks after is going to places, for example, in Africa, where they don't have clean water, and figuring out a way to make sure that people can get clean water, right? So that's another thing they do. What else do people need that not everyone has in the world? Which is part of our seva to the world. We talk about Deg, Teg, Fateh. So Deg represents everything related to, Anji? Did you say food? Food, yes, of course. Food is very important. If water is important, food's important. So Guru Sahib gave us such a beautiful example of doing food seva in this world, which is called Guru Ka Langar. Yeah. That anybody, anywhere should feel welcome to walk into a Gurdwara and get a free, freshly prepared, healthy, nutritious, delicious free meal. No other community offers what Guru Sahib has given us. ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ duty ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ you have my blessing, right? Guru Sahib, when he took that money from his father and he shared it with someone, that was the beginning of langar. And that langar has been coming since the time of Guru Nanak until today. We have served not even millions, tens of millions of people have been served in Guru Ka Langar without expecting anything in return. So we need to help people who are affected by natural disasters, people who don't have clean water, people who don't have food, right? What other important thing do we need to share with people? Because if we need food and clothing, what's another necessity of human life? Arja Singh? Anji? Did you say shelter? Health, yes, health is important. We need food for good health, right? But what about the people who have been affected by wars? right? ਇੰਨੇ refugee ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਗਾਜ਼ਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਪਿਆ they have to leave everything we were also affected by that because in 1947 when partition happened there were many Sikh families who had to leave everything behind and there are people in this world right now we have a big refugee problem in this world people because of wars are being forced to leave their homes. So groups like Khalsa Aid are there to do all these types of seva. And I don't want to take any more time because I know you all want to hear from our guest. I was just passing the time until we get to hear from our very beloved guest who's visiting us from UK, by Ravi Singh Ji Khalsa. And we're going to ask him to share with you a little bit about the story, his story, the story of Khalsa Aid, how he decided to start Khalsa Aid, and why does he keep doing it? Even when he faces so many obstacles, so many problems, what keeps him going and wanting to do seva, working for Sarbat Tapala? So what I'm going to do is actually ask, because I don't know him as well as the people who work with Khalsa Aid here do. So I'm going to ask if Mandeep Singh, is he here? Mandeep Singh, okay? Haan ji. He is much better qualified to do a nice introduction for Pai Sahib. So I'll ask Mandeep Singh to share a few words with you. Mandeep Singh is like you. He grew up attending camps, and now he's an all-rounder the way we want you to be. He can do tabla, kirtan, everything, right? So he got training just like you're sitting here, and now he's still doing seva as an adult, right? He has his own children, but he didn't give up seva. He's still doing it to this day with Khalsa Aid. So if I could ask Mandeep Singh Virji if you could share a few words about Virji and give him a proper introduction. Thank you very much. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Yeah, we'll do that. You can kind of a general talk, and then we'll take the 10 few minutes with them afterwards. Is that okay? Yes.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you for having us. We're very honored to be here for you guys. Hands up. Who's older than 12 years old? 12 and up. Who's older than 12? Very good. Okay. Who's 11 and lower? Or maybe not lower. How about who's between 3 and 11? Okay, very good. Wow, it was a very big mixed class. What did you guys learn today? Tabla? What else? Kirtan and Gurbani. Very good. So I'm going to ask just a couple questions. Do you guys know about seva? Yeah. Is seva a big part of being a Sikh? Have you all heard of Khalsa Aid? So Khalsa Aid is known for all the seva that it does, not just here in Canada, but of course throughout India, throughout Africa, throughout Asia, throughout Middle East, wherever there's a need, sevadars just like yourselves will go out and help those in need. So from Toronto, from Canada, many Sikhs go. They come from different backgrounds. Some were born here, some go as international students, some are parents, some are students, but everyone is welcome to join, and everyone is welcome to go, not just help here in Toronto, not just help here across Canada, but also help abroad. Who is interested in joining Khalsa Aid? Maybe not now, but in the future. Okay, very good. So Khalsa Aid is something that as a community, we're all proud of. As a member of Khalsa Aid, this is something that I love doing. This is a passion. And something that I learned about passion is from Ravi Singh. Ravi Singh is the founder of Khalsa Aid. In 1999, when we were celebrating the 300 years of Khalsa, of the Khalsa Raj, we were also looking at what was happening across the world. At the same time, there was wars happening, and that's when Khalsa Aid said, how about we go help those in need outside our community? And then that was the first time we went on our first mission in 1999. So apne by Ravi Singh, he's behind me. He will tell you more about Khalsa Aid. He will tell you more about seva. He'll tell you about what's happening internationally, and he'll be telling about the seva that's in India, in Canada, and everywhere else. If you guys have questions, save them until the end. Baji will ask you what kind of questions you have, so start thinking of what questions you want to ask while he's speaking. Okay? ask some good questions and ask some very tough questions. ठीक है जी? वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It's really, really good to be here. I didn't expect so many of you guys here, so I'm really happy to see the parents, the children. And it's wonderful that what this Gurdwara Sahib is doing by connecting you all. When we talk about seva, when we talk about seva around the world, it's about connecting people. We connect with the people, like you guys, and the Gurdwara Sahib is connecting you with each of you here, and you make friends. How many of you guys that have here made friends with each other? Put your hands up. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So that's what we do. We go around the world when someone needs us. What the meaning of seva? Imagine there's someone right now in the world. There's flooding. There's floods happened. They don't have much left. All their house is flooded. They left the area. They have to go to a safe place. They need water. They need food. So we call people in the country. Say, hi, how you doing? We're Khalsa Aid. Let's get together to help the people. And that's what we do. We get together, we network. So what you guys do is working together. So now, how many of you have heard of a country called Zambia? Anybody? Very good. That's amazing. Gambia? Right. So few of you know Gambia. So these are countries in Africa. They don't have, let me ask one question actually. I will ask, don't put your hands up. I want to ask myself, and pick people from the Sangha. Okay? Mr. Singh, what's your name? Okay, so, when you need water, what do you do when you need water at home? If you need what do you do? You go to the what? To the sink. He says, when he needs water, he goes to the sink. Is that what you guys do? Yes or no? I can't hear you. Okay, now imagine there's a village in Africa. When they need water, they don't have a sink. They don't have pipes. They don't have taps. And their mom and dad at your age will say, go walk a long way away, get some water from the river. So, what's your name, young lady? Yeah. So, when you drink dirty water, what happens, you think? Talk louder, please. You get sick. So when you don't have water at home on a tap, you go to the river to get water, you drink it, you get all the germs, you get bellyache, and it's not nice. It can be very bad. So Khalsa goes to the village, we get a big machine, they dig deep into the earth, we put a water pump and make it safe, and then all the people in the village, like you guys sitting here, maybe this many people or more in the village have safe drinking water. They don't get ill. They can give water to their animals. They can have gardens. They can open schools. So clean water is very important. Like you said, when you wake up or when you need water, you go, you put your tap on. That's not the case in Africa, in many, many countries and many places. You have to go with a big pot and that water is dirty. So we changed all that. We're doing it in a country called Gambia, Zambia, Malawi, Kenya, and more countries now we're going to do. That's what we do.
Is this a machine?
Yeah, this is in Gambia. I think this is in Gambia, look. So yeah, this is Gambia. So yeah, maybe, which is that? Yeah, this is Gambia. So they get so excited when they find water. So this is just one of those places. Which one is this one? Yeah, you can see in the back as well, the water tanks. You see the tank on the top, right? Yeah? That tank, so for instance, say the pump stops working, that's safe water to drink for another week or two until it's fixed. Sometimes there's a river near the well where the pump is. If the river floods and all the water gets dirty underground, that water on the top remains. We cut it off, it remains safe until we find another way of giving water. That's one thing. Then we give food. Do you know, who knows actually, you can put your hands up, especially the elder guys, you know what refugee is? Who knows what a refugee is? Okay, you at the back, stand up please and tell us nice and loud, what's a refugee? A refugee, a person who has to move to another country because there's a war or there's a disaster. And what happens if there's a disaster? They have to pack what they can quickly. For instance, there's a war, right? We're all in this Gurdwara Sahib, and somebody says, oh my goodness, there's something dangerous. You have to leave your homes. You got 2 hours. What can you take in 2 hours? You can't take your beds. You can't take your chairs. You can't take a lot of stuff. So you go to sit far away on your own. You don't have a shelter, like you got no house, no roof. You don't have any more clothes. You don't have food. You don't have water. So Khalsa Aid then goes into that area with other organizations to look after those people called refugees. Then we give them tents, we give them food, we give them water. What do you think? Do you think people who are different to us, who are not Sikh, should we help them or not? Yes. Why? Because we are all fantastic. That's what we are. Guru Gobind Singh said, recognize the whole human race as one. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, whatever. If somebody is suffering or struggling, it's our duty to help. I'm so happy you guys said that. Because that's the one thing you take away today, is that we're all human beings. People, sometimes you see people different to us, right? You must have seen some people different to us, right? Different color, different religion. And we think, wow, who's that person? And you know what that person's thinking? They're looking at you guys going to the star saying, wow, who's that person? So we look at each other saying, who's that person? Imagine you talk to each other, say, hi, I'm a Sikh. Who are you? When I go to countries, they've never seen a Sikh. Imagine I go to a country, they've never seen a turban, they've never seen a Sikh in parts of like Turkey, Iraq. They just stare at you like, who's that guy? Then you know what I do? I go up to them. Sometimes I can't speak the language, so I get somebody to speak for me. And I go like this, hi, I'm Ravi Singh. I'm a Sikh. You've never seen a Sikh. And they say, where are you from? I said, well, originally from Punjab. And they'd ask so many questions. And I love it. When you were at the start, somebody says to you, who are you? It's a great question, because that is what you're asking. You're asking people to question who you are. It's not offensive. People think it's offensive. So you guys are growing up. Be proud of who you are, because it makes you stand out. And you know what? When I go to a country, there's no Sikh. I'm not afraid. I love it. It's so good. And people ask me, what do you eat? How's your family? Who is your teacher? You talk about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It's so good. We say, you know what we say in Ardas, right? Sarbat Tapala. Do you guys say that? I can't hear you. What does that mean? Can somebody say what Sarbat Tapala means? Okay, yeah. You have to stand up, please. Nice and loud. Scream loud. Everyone's pala. We pray, everyone's pala. Keyword, everyone. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, different religion. We pray for whole humanity. That's what Khalsa does, Sarbat Tapala. In Punjab, we have a school, right? And that school has children like yourselves. And you know what? It came one of the top schools in Punjab 3 months ago. One of the students came, I think, the top 5 or 10 in the whole of Punjab. So many children who need our help in Punjab. We're sponsoring children's education. Make sure they can study, they have enough food, and they're people your age. Okay, so I'm going to ask you quick questions. Then you can have your questions ready, right? So what do you think number one thing we need if there's an earthquake here? Nice and loud, speak up. Water, very good, very important. Quickly, and first thing is trying to get clean water. When there's an earthquake, everything breaks, the pipes, the structures, infrastructure, clean water. So if there's an earthquake, be careful. Ask your mom and dad, can we drink water? If there's a flooding, be careful. Ask your mom and dad, can we drink water on the tap? Very good. So we go and we provide water. So Khalsa Aid is talking about Sarvat Tapala, every human is equal, sevas in Punjab, seva around the world, food for those who are struggling because they're refugees, and tents and other stuff, and blankets. Last year, who remembers the Turkish earthquake? Okay, you guys remember Turkey. Let me tell you, I was there. It was minus 5, 6 degrees. It was so cold. And I went to the street with the trucks. I said, there's nobody here. Why are we here? We had blankets. We had truck of blankets. The guy put his lights on, and there's people lying on the street without blankets, on a cold floor because the house has fallen down. And we quickly got the blankets, like we give him blankets. That saved their lives. You, as a Sangha, saved their lives. I remember children with special needs, children that were disabled, elders, they were lying on frozen ground, nothing, no cover. Your help, we gave them blankets straight away. We had thousands of blankets coming quickly. And that saved many people from freezing to death. So this is because of you guys, because your parents, you donate to Khalsa Aid. Khalsa Aid isn't the only organization in the world. There are hundreds, there's thousands. There are Sikh organizations. Learn about everyone so we can equally see who can be sport and not sport. We're not going to say to you, Khalsa is the only organization, but Khalsa is the first organization in the Sikh community to help people cross borders. So that's the first for Khalsa Aid when it was founded. So guys, we have Jatinder Singh here, Khalsa Aid Canada director. He has been with me from the beginning from London. And you got Mandeep Singh, GTA, main man, the official guy here. You got the family over there, Avinash Kaur, they're helping out. We got Rimple Singh here from Halifax. Is it Halifax, yeah? In Seva. I've got so many chapters. What does Khalsa Aid Canada do? They help people with food parcels. They help international students with a lot of stuff, from legal stuff to helping them cope with life here because it's very tough. So these guys doing. So if you're adults in the back, yes, adults here, please join Karo, because it's time that we can help our students. These are our kids. These are our kids who come here. There shouldn't be any judgment because we all came to these countries, our fathers, for a reason. They're here for the same reason. So please, just the adults here, join the GTA team, or other people who are helping the international students, and tell them you're not alone. We're with you. Remember, they're without their parents. They left their parents behind. They left their brothers and sisters behind. Many are alone. So when you give them that warmth, that support, they feel like, yeah, we're not alone, and they feel good about themselves. So if there's any adults who want to help with the seva, Mandeep Singh in the back. Okay, guys, any questions? I'm sure there are some questions. Yes, it's an NGO, which is a non-government organization. Our funding comes from the Sangha, that's it.
Good question. A lot of people probably didn't know what an NGO is, right?
I think so far, maybe millions in the last 25 years. That could be like, I think, maybe 30, 40,000 people. But since Khalsa has been now 25 years, maybe hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Because every time we go in camps, there are tens of thousands of people. So yeah, I mean, we didn't count, but it's a very, very big number. Again, it's all because of your love for humanity that you help us.
So how is that, how is all the seva all over the world coordinated in terms of the funding?
Wow, this is a very good question indeed. I'm not an accountant. So what happens? Okay, so for instance, any seva in Canada for the students and everything in Canada, these guys do it. Like now, you guys donated to other projects. So I talked to Jatinder Singh, hey, we're going to help people in Gaza now. So Canada and UK, we talk to each other, then we talk to other NGOs around the world. We say, help us to coordinate. So we have coordinated Aid for Gaza together. So our UK office, the staff, they coordinate international projects, but the projects in the countries are coordinated by the directors, like all the help for students and the homeless. So yeah, so London office, I was myself, a guy called Amandeep Singh, and another guy, we coordinate the operations globally.
But there's so much.
And the funding is depending. So like 2019, there's floods in Punjab. All over the world, people funded. So we have that restricted funding, which means we said this is how much funds we collected, and guess what? We're still spending the money. So funding depends on if there's some particular, say the Gurdwara Sahib here today says, we want to give $25,000 to Gaza food-wise. So what we do, we buy the food with that $25,000 and we'll show the Gurdwara Sahib, this is the invoice, this is the company, there's your food and there's the shipment. So we even do that as well. So yeah, it depends on who's donating.
So much.
No, I mean, it's sometimes difficult because access to area like Gaza, Israel has made it very difficult, which is it's actually very bad of them to stop aid into that. So that makes it difficult. Political situations make it difficult, but our will is to carry on. So we're still getting on with it, working with big organizations to deliver the aid.
Darcy? How many countries?
Okay, last year I remember around about 56 it was last year I remember. So maybe now about 60 I think.
60 plus you could say.
Yeah.
Cyberport? Pardon? How often? Okay. How often do you go to different countries? How much of the year do you spend traveling?
We have members of staff who are trained. So now 2 are in Africa, 2 or 3 are in Punjab at the moment. And then I'll be going back to Turkey, which we do every 2 months, end of the month. And then from there, maybe if we're allowed to drop the shipment to Gaza from Turkey. So yeah, so it depending. Before I used to go a lot. Now maybe once every 2 months or something I travel outside or but I come to like Canada sometimes. Other countries now, a little bit slower, but we're picking it up. Our staff go to other countries almost every week we're out.
Rajat Singh? If someone needs help, and how do they do any of these groups who need help, do they get in touch with you, or is it mostly on you to find them?
We basically find out if it's a disaster, like for instance, who knew Papua New Guinea? It's a small country. They had a big, very bad landslide, which means people got hurt by a mudslide very badly, homes were lost. So we're working with locals there. So we just get on with it. So it's new countries where we can have access, we get on with it. Like some countries we just can't work because they won't allow NGOs. There are some countries in Africa, they won't let people in from outside.
I think a lot of people might be curious about your journey. What year, what inspired you, and how did you get started?
We're celebrating 300 years of the Khalsa. And I was in the Gurdwara Sahib committee in London, in Slough. And we thought, why don't we do something? But they weren't listening. So then I saw there's a war in Kosovo, which is it's in Europe. And I thought, why don't we, 300 years of the Khalsa, we should do something to give back something to the world, to humanity. And from there, that war in Kosovo was happening, so we started getting trucks together for aid, and then Khalsa Aid. So we chose the name Khalsa. At the time, there was no other Sikh organization. We could have called it Sikh Aid, Punjab Aid, British Sikh Aid, whatever, but we called it Khalsa Aid because the word Khalsa, by many governments, 1 or 2 governments, was made into a bad word. That Khalsa isn't good, Khalsa is not good people. So we are good people. We are humanitarians. So we called it Khalsa Aid because then we can say, look, Khalsa is helping the world. Khalsa is helping humanity. So we chose the name Khalsa. So yeah, so it was 25 years ago this year, and the idea came. Basically, it's not a new idea. This is definitely not a new idea. Paikanayaji served water in battles. Guru Nanak Dev Ji talks about langar concept. So all we did was take the langar to where it's needed. It's not a new idea. Khalsa organization is an idea, but what we do isn't new. It's seva. It's part of us for generations.
Not new, but it's very important.
It's very important. Extremely. So seva starts in the home, guys. When your mom says, take the trash out, how many of you argue with mom? Come on, put your hands up. See, there are some honest people there. So seva starts in the home, then it starts in the Gurdwara, then in the community. That's how you get around the world. I used to do a lot of water pani seva, jal seva. in the Gurdwara Sahib in Slough. And it builds from there. So what you're doing is fantastic here. Every one of you, I'm telling you, you are humanitarians. You're great individuals. You're learning. Look, you said it to me straight away. We're all human beings. So I think we're going to have this generation is going to be brilliant.
Really glad you visited today.
So that's very important.
And that was basically, it's grounded that idea. Let's do something
Yeah.
for Sabata.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah. Just real and Gurveer Singh. Okay? I apologize if I couldn't get to everyone, but I tried to get a few sayings, a few cards.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਫੇਸ
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਈਸੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ 2014 ਚ ਸੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨੀਆਂ ਕਾਲੀਆਂ ਪੱਗਾਂ ਬੰਨੀਆਂ ਚਿੱਟੀਆਂ ਪੱਗਾਂ ਬੰਨੀਆਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਦਾੜੇ ਸੋ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਰੰਗ ਬਰੰਗੀਆਂ ਪੱਗਾਂ ਬੰਨਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੇਠਾ ਖੋਏ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਖਾਲਾ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਕਲਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਆਇਡੈਂਟੀਟੀ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਚਲੋ ਬਈ ਆਇਡੈਂਟੀਟੀ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸੋ ਸਮਟਾਈਮ ਯੂ ਗੈਟ ਦੈਟ ਐਂਡ ਆਲਸੋ as a Sikh NGO you get confused as a Sikh NGO as a religious NGO you get problems because people think like you're here for a different reason so but we're Sikhs we're Khalsa nothing's ever easy for us we have to bring the change so we don't see it as an obstacle we see it as a challenge and that like in Turkey I worked everywhere Turkey is fine one place I went to small airfield they said you can't travel on a plane you got to take your plug off for the x-ray. And after 5-10 minutes, we rang our friends who are the MP, Turkish MPs. They said, no, you don't. They got a guy in. He said, no, he's a Sikh. You don't have to take a turban off. Now I go through the airport all the time. So challenges is something we enjoy overcoming. And yes, we never give up. Sikhs survived in the jungles when the numbers were so low and we came back. We never say we're failing or whatever. We don't say, we say, what do we say? What do we say? Har Ramadan. That's it. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge that you think it's going to be good to take on the challenge. And I love challenges. And that's why we're here today. You have to be very stubborn as well.
Certain thing or person that inspired you to create Khalsa.
1984. You know what happened in 1984? Right. So it's 40 years ago, right? And a lot of bad stuff happened. So that's an inspiration for us that people, young Sikh guys who gave so many sacrifices, and then how do we tell the world that we're not people who are bad? How do we tell the world that we're not people of hate? Because sometimes there are people who have more power and they tell the world about you, that this guy is a bad person. So we gave an answer back to Khalsa that we're humanitarians. We believe in Deg Fateh. We are Sikh soldiers, but we are humanitarians. The Khalsa is a unique humanitarian. So yeah, this is like a message that the suffering of our people doesn't make us hateful. When something bad happens to our community, it shouldn't make us hateful. It should enforce our humanity, our love for people. Yes, we will always challenge governments. It could be Canadian government, it could be UK government, it could be Indian government. Governments are made to be challenged. But people, religions, we don't hate. We never hate any religion, no matter what. Remember that when you're growing up, no religion is our enemy, ever. Best is like, I think Mandeep Singh also at Canada team is the best. I think you got the details. If you want to catch up, maybe you can, Mandeep Singh, connecting with you guys. Maybe by some, you guys can maybe see if the parents want to save up, how to connect with Mandeep Singh, but I'm sure you got a good talk to Mandeep Singh. And then once you join Seva in Canada for 6 months, a year continuously, then the Canada thing will say to me, look, we know that person, we know how they are, we know how they behave under pressure. I think they should go on a mission abroad. Then you go on a mission with us. Because sometimes, people want to go on a mission, they're not mentally ready, so they struggle because when you see something bad, it breaks your heart. You've got to deal with a lot of pressure. So these people over there get to know you guys and they recommend you for the next year.
I just wanted to get one place out of school. debate. And what we'll do is, I'm sure, anyone want to picture? Yes, I'm pretty sure you do. Okay.
It's
So-
$10 today.
Yeah. So we'll have pictures, and then the high school students, if there are any left, maybe you can spend about 10 minutes. I know he was going to spend half an hour with you, but maybe about 10 minutes just kind of telling you about how to stay on the right track when it comes to safety. So we'll do that. We'll hear from Mr. Singh, Eugene now, and then the pictures, and then a session for our leadership.
Okay, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਫਤਿਹ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ on the behalf of Ontario Khalsa Darbar and Ontario Khalsa Darbar ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ behalf ਤੇ we really appreciate and we thank you by Ravi Singh coming and addressing kids and answering their questions. We appreciate it.
enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
Put your gun on the bicep. Pull it. It's only us. Stuff less him and his team, doing seva, giving energy, commitment charity club, keep doing seva for Sapat, Papa, Santa, Ravi, everyone who came here from so far off. We really appreciate that they took time for our government school. So as I said now, with our leadership group, we'll also get to hear this really incredibly smart guy. We had limited time, so we only heard from Ravi, but you should get a chance to hear from Ravi as well. So we'll have some pictures. Now maybe we'll start with the youngest group, that, and then there's some photo on the back. Then once you're done, you can go. You can go do that photo from here. Okay, so let's start kindergarten. So, and then kindergarten, छोटे बच्चे